Call of Duty fantastically. I had an amazing game. Unfortunately, it came down to me learning that there was no skill involved and that it was all predetermined anyways. The game has all of the stats in their system from the previous times I've played. It assumed I would be the one on the controller. And gave me, it threw me a hell of a bone.
I had a hell of a time, and I really enjoyed it. And I kind of knew it was coming, but I thought, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm just kind of a beast.
No, it just wasn't true. What's going on, guys? I just wanted to bounce some ideas off of y'all today, and I wanted to see what people thought about the state of the industry today and how the relationship between the community, the corporations, and the relationship between the community and itself are affecting us and the way we play our games and the way we decide on purchasing games. I think we should shed a little bit more light on that, and people should probably talk a little bit more about how they feel when they're playing these games and if it's worth putting our money and time into. I think that's a valid question, and I think it's one that everybody probably needs to answer individually, and you gotta find a way to be honest with yourself about it. Everybody probably knows what I'm talking about when I say that there is this lingering feeling. I'm somebody personally that plays a lot of video games, and lately, particularly recently in life, I've recognized more and more, the time that I need to take away from something that brought me a lot of joy and comfort growing up. A peaceful pastime for me. And I think that because of my upbringing and the nature of my relationship to video games growing up, it heavily influences me now. There's just a lot of factors that go into what makes all of us want to play any games for any reason at all, and honestly, we know there's a break from reality. There's a break from everyday life, and that's an amazing and beautiful thing that we get to do, that we get to experience, so long as it's done in a healthy way. And so that's really what I wanted to gloss over with all of you today, and just kind of have a discussion about what people think about how much people are playing video games and how beneficial they can be and how amazing they can be to inspire people to get up in the morning, to inspire people to wake up and move forward and feel joy, feel happy, and their capacity to be amazing, while also the massive abyss that one can fall into. And we should go over that so that people can understand maybe where they're at, and maybe they can have a better perspective as to how they can use video games. In my opinion, this is what I want to get into. How they can use video games to improve the rest of their life in some ways. And in many ways, I still need to adjust things. Absolutely no doubt that I have many things to work on and improve just throughout the course of my life. Video games is an essential part of it, and I don't want to ever leave that behind, and I want to be able to bridge the gap between what makes video games so important and amazing to me and how important it is that the rest of my life and that the rest of everyone else's life, everyone that enjoys any hobby of any sort to any degree, that they perform these activities in a healthy way, and that it allows them to move forward and want to inspire someone else, and want to inspire someone else to get up out of bed and move forward. That's what everything should be about, connecting each other to a reason. And with all of that being said, there's a huge conversation and a huge space and a lot of room for growth for the industry today. I think people have a relationship with the corporations in which full accountability on either side isn't necessarily being taken. Not that the corporations are throwing any stabs at people, maybe sometimes, but rarely. It's mostly just, a shitbox for the corporation and developers to feed from the entire community of people that are mad enough to type at them. And I don't think that a lot of those messages get read, unfortunately. I think we can see that in a lot of things as well, and a lot of content that comes from games like Call of Duty and Halo, we can most certainly see that there's a lot of boxes left unchecked, and why aren't we taking these matters a little bit more seriously? I mean, come on, it's about our mental health and our own sakes and individual personalities and behavior and the things that keep us healthy and moving and wanting to make something more and wanting to continue to create something for society, something for people, something locally, globally. It can be anything, and we want to be able to inspire people to do those things. And games in particular, like what I want to mainly kind of talk about today is, on the negative side anyways, is something like Call of Duty and the systems put in place, and something that was done the same to my beloved Halo. Oh man, did they fuck that up. Wow. And it's just kind of happening to the industry, and it's just happening before everybody's eyes. It's just kind of the modeling going on for the market, as to what's going to be booming and what's going to work and what people are going to buy regardless. What's the best risk for reward? And right now I think it's these live service titles that certainly corporations like Microsoft can provide extremely ridiculous deals for AAA developers that are underperforming in sales and allow them a big break while allowing a lot of players to come to their platform to play their game exclusively with exclusive deals, while the developer is essentially earning and gaining support from people that support them via in-game internal microtransactions and whatnot, and a lot of playtime, and just continuing to influence the machine that is rotting us all, and eventually it's going to consume us in many ways, and in many ways it already has. So we really need to be careful here, because this is a serious issue. It's always something that's existed, but we're getting into a mass scale where there's so many kids getting into the video game market that is a current market that is just so unhealthy for people. Of course, there's always been any hobby or pastime that can be digital or not that is unhealthy and abused, and that has to be negated. There's many other problems on this planet, but I want to be able to reach people that have this similar issue that bothered me and that I felt like people should talk about more, because there's a realm of people that can understand this but don't necessarily have anyone to converse with it about, or don't necessarily have the words to articulate and discuss. And many people as well just don't necessarily have a group of people. I'm not necessarily talking about a circle of friends, but a group of people that necessarily care about this realm of things. You know, life has so many important things going on, and all of it can be absurd when it comes down to talking about video games. But once again, that's another part of that lingering feeling I spoke of, where there's this underlying anxiety of playing video games, especially now that I'm recording things and trying to put together footage and ideas that are either relatable or motivating to speak about, or something that feels important. It's hard to layer it all together and find a time slot to do something that unwinds me for the day and allows me to breathe again. And there are other things I do in place of it, because it can be overwhelming and I can abuse and misuse video games very easily. So it's important that I find a good balance, because if I am away for too long, I kind of lose that sense of creativity, that sense of play, that playfulness that we all need to hold on to in some ways. And a lot of that comes out in me when I get to play games. And it comes out in other ways as well, and I have to find other outlets for the sake of rounding out me as a person and being able to have a broad experience and understanding. But there's still the time that I need that allows me to unwind. And it's unfortunate when I get into games that lure me, that were once beloved, and but they continue to lure me, and it's done so well, so smoothly, with such seamlessness, that a lot of people, like I, almost don't even care. I mean, we'll talk mad shit on the game before it launches, when it launches, and after. And then you can catch me hitting a quad feed I just don't understand what that is. You know, why would I want to waste my time on something? Of course, I started my game off today of Call of Duty fantastically. I had an amazing game. Unfortunately, it came down to me learning that there was no skill involved and that it was all predetermined anyways. The game has all of my stats in their system from the previous times I've played, and it assumed that I would be the one on the controller. And gave me, it threw me a hell of a bone. I had a hell of a time, and I really enjoyed it. And I kind of knew it was coming, but I thought, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm just kind of a beast. No, it just wasn't true. They can't keep getting away with it. And the way we stop them from getting away with it is we stop delegating our time and our resources to the things that upset us. Not necessarily because they upset us, but because we definitely kind of understand that that's not good for us, you know. It's already not good to be playing video games for too long. It's definitely probably not good when the corporation adds a, little system and structure that kind of sort of manipulates you into continuously playing, kind of regardless of whether or not you're actually enjoying it or having a fulfilling time. That's a problem, and it's something to look at, and I hope that everyone can take a little bit of perspective out of that and take some time to breathe and think about what it is that's important to you when you're playing games and why certain games are important to you, why you would take time to play them recreationally or competitively. It's important that we find those reasons so that we can also understand when it's time to take a break and lay away, so that we're not being sucked into some mind-numbing hole. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to just keep having a bad time until it's time to have a good time? I just get a little bit frustrated talking about it, especially when I've been talking about it for a while. Let's piece it together and not go through that madness. And start delegating time to other games and other developers that put so much effort into something to inspire somebody to get out of bed. And that's what we should look forward to doing, is finding ways to do that, finding ways to show appreciation for those developers, those people on this planet that put their lives down in time to just hand somebody a good time, not drain somebody in, not steal their soul in their pocket. We should think about that a little bit more. I think I'm going to leave everybody with that. I just want to, excuse me, I just wanted to be able to kind of start off with all of that. There's a lot of ideas that I want to start throwing down the pipe and everything, and we're going to get to all of it. So I hope that people were able to enjoy this and take something from it and take some perspective and think about things a little bit as to what they're playing, what they're spending their time doing in any realm. It doesn't have to be video games. But let me know what you guys are thinking about those things and what we should do about it. You know, do we do nothing? Do we sit and whine like I'm doing, or do we just, find a way to get together and discuss these things in a manner that allows us to put a group effort into moving away from these titles and these developers and ideas and communities that suck our souls right the fuck out. Alright everybody, that's going to be it for today. I hope everybody enjoyed this and at least took something out of it and can move forward and anticipate making some schmoves on this planet and can help somebody move forward and inspire them to want to create something that inspires the rest of us. Have a lovely one. Life is a Planet here. Peace out. Oh.